Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. A major storm system now impacting parts of the West Coast is going to work its way into the Rockies, become a Colorado low, and bring ice, snow, wind, possible whiteout or even blizzard conditions to portions of the central and northern plains. Meanwhile, in the southern plains, severe weather possible. Let's go over all of it right now. But first, we'll take a look at what's going on as we head through our Wednesday night. Very heavy and much needed rain for portions of northern California. Continue with heavy snow into towards Reno, working its way through. These heavy showers of snow near Chico and down towards Sacramento, bringing very heavy rainfall rates with them. Now, as we look to the north, we have some snow showers just off to the west of the SeaTac area, and then heading into the mountains of Idaho and parts of Utah, and, well, of course, Washington State and Oregon, we do have some heavier rain. Texas, meanwhile, getting hit with a line of thunderstorms from Austin straight up into Tyler. A few of these storms could be severe. We'll review that here in just a minute. And a few showers with some snow even mixing its way in to parts of upstate New York near Syracuse and points north. Rain showers down towards Springfield and Binghamton as we head into the evening hours. So let's talk about this storm system that is right now out on the West Coast. What's going to happen to this area of low pressure as it moves into the Rocky Mountains? For that, we're going to take a look at the very latest with a model. We'll look at the American model with regards to this, the GFS model. And as we take a look at this storm system, you can clearly see right here, we've got the low pressure center working its way in the Pacific Northwest. Now it splits right here with one faction going off to parts of the northern Rockies and a southern branch working its way down the south. It's this one that develops into a Colorado low as we head into Friday. Now look at the heavy snow. Utah into the mountains of western Wyoming, northern parts of Arizona getting smashed with yet even more crippling snow showers there for drivers in the northern mountains not far from Flagstaff. Now as we head this into the Rocky Mountains, here it is. Colorado low developing. What happens? This is setting here for 2 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. South winds from the Gulf will lace the central plains and northern plains with moisture. And the northern plains doesn't often see this amount of moisture, but with a couple of days of south winds, it will arrive. And that laces the air with enough moisture for significant rain. And with cold temperatures, we could be talking about freezing rain. Here we go. Low pressure system dives out in the central plains. Severe thunderstorm threat will work its way in on our Friday evening for a few areas as we go through parts of Missouri. And look at it taking off as it goes into Illinois and moving its way through the Mississippi River Valley. Meanwhile, showers and thunder will become a chance for thunder sleet and thunder snow on the North Dakota-Minnesota border as we head into your Saturday morning, Friday night. This is around 1 a.m. Now, as we go through, look at the line of very heavy rain pushing through Wisconsin. The moisture is much needed across much of Minnesota as well as parts of North Dakota. Look at the gusty north winds with this. These isobars mean those winds are going to really gust. Look at the heavy band of snow heading into Saturday. Meanwhile, down here, we have a secondary low pressure system developing, and shazam! Check this out. Midday on your Saturday, a chance for some stout thunderstorms working their way through the Gulf Coast, working its way north into Tennessee, Kentucky, and western parts of Pennsylvania. As we go into the evening, the strongest of the storms will work their way down to the south. But this little area of low pressure here, that's called a triple point low when it's right down here. When that happens, we've got spin in the atmosphere. So I do think we'll have an enhanced risk at seeing some pretty stout thunderstorms with all modes of severe weather a possibility. So more snow working its way in as we go through the weekend, but let's just focus on the next few days, shall we? And by doing that, what we're going to do is take a look at all of these fashions of severe weather and modes of severe weather. We're going to start with snowfall potential. And let's go ahead and take a look at the west. Now, as we go through the snow showers that are making their way through the Sierra Nevada right now, producing the potential for feet of snow. That's right, very wet this Pacific air mass is as it works its way in. And that could be some significant snow in those areas as we go into your Friday morning. The snow showers then, as a Colorado low begins developing in Colorado, Wyoming, is going to bring some enhanced snowfall totals to the southern Rockies. We're talking down there by Durango, as we'll see some enhanced snowfall potential lasting for a couple of days there. The western Rockies and Tetons out there in western Wyoming will see a few inches of snow. And as we look out north, the Cascades picking up anywhere from 3 to 10 inches of snow there. Now, as we go through, the snow chances will spread into parts of eastern North Dakota and South Dakota, western Minnesota, with a band of heavy snow possible there. And notice that snow continues to track its way across the northern Great Lakes, and that's it. So that is a Friday night, Saturday into Sunday system with gusty winds keeping snow and blowing snow and tricky travel conditions across the northern plains as we go through, not to include Minneapolis. But this storm system does bring the threat for ice accumulation as well. And with the winds that we're talking about with this particular storm system, we could be talking about some threat to power supply. So we could have some areas that do have some power supply concerns in parts of the Dakotas and western Minnesota. And that's heading from your Saturday morning into Saturday evening, and then blowing snow continuing up there. So there's some icing. Now, what about good old-fashioned precipitous precipitation? And then a quick look at the severe weather threat as we go through as well. Now, when we're talking about the amount of precipitation possible, this is also going to show rain, what looks like rain showing up in the northern plains where we get snow, but that's not what it is. It's the snow melted down. So here is a look at the very heavy rain associated with the Colorado low as it moves through and grabs into the Gulf moisture here in the southern plains. And that's where that threat will come from. That moist air, that warm moist air, really fueling thunderstorms that could be severe. And there is a potential in some of these areas of seeing 1 to 4, maybe more inches of rainfall. We're talking western Tennessee, western Kentucky, straight into parts of West Virginia and southern Indiana as well. So very heavy rain there. A lot of moisture in the Rocky Mountains in both forms, liquid and solid. Now let's talk about the severe weather threat. To do that, we're going to go right back and take a look at this radar, and I'm going to pop up a look at our severe weather threat. We're going to focus on the deep south for tonight, looking at the Storm Prediction Center now. Risk for severe weather on this Wednesday night, and I just spoke of this. Those storms near Dallas have a slight risk at seeing some severe weather. All modes of severe weather are going to be possible in this area. It does include Texarkana, Shreveport, Monroe, Louisiana, and out towards Lufkin, Texas as well. So the eastern portions of Texas off to the metro area and points to the east. So that's tonight's risk. Again, hail, very heavy rain, and some thunderstorms that could produce some significant weather in those areas. And again, a quick look at what's going on right now as we head into the evening hours on the radar in this area. We do have several storms moving out and towards Bryant, Texas. As you take a look at this linear or line of storms, along the line, we do have some areas with backward C shapes. That backward C shape here can indicate a gust of outflow from the storms and gusty straight line wind potential. Some of those gusts could exceed 50 miles per hour. And as we go later into the evening, as these storms progress, all of the risks of severe weather will continue. Now, as we go through the day on your Thursday, it will be a development of the low pressure system working its way into the Central Rockies. So the severe risk slides off into Montgomery, Alabama, and that's about it. And it's not a great risk. The green, by the way, that shows us that we have what's called a marginal risk. A couple of storms may flirt with severe levels. That's 1-inch diameter hail and gusts to about 58 miles per hour. But the number of those storms should be limited. Check out what happens, though, as the Colorado low exits the Rockies and moves into the Central Plains. I think we'll have our best chance at severe weather. I talked about that triple point, bringing some extra spin into the atmosphere. And here we go. Check this out. Day 3, risk of severe weather as we go through your Friday. When the storm exits the Rocky Mountains and moves into the plains, we see the enhanced risk of severe weather. Southern Illinois, so Springfield all the way through St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, and the Boot Hill of Missouri. Springfield, you're in the yellow, and that area is generally a slight risk of severe weather. So the greatest risk of severe weather, Memphis, all the way to Jackson, Mississippi, and out towards western and central parts of Tennessee, western and central parts of Kentucky. That does include you folks out there in Paducah, Evansville, Bowling Green. You're in the slight risk area as well. Now, when we take a look at some of the threats regarding this storm potential here, and looking at that, we're going to see that there's going to be all modes of severe weather possible. And to look a little more closely at this, I will take one more look at our models now, focusing on severe weather threat. For that, I'm going to go right back to a look at this American model. As we take a quick look at your severe weather threat with regards to these storm systems, we'll stop it as we get to here, as we go into Friday. shazam, right into this area. So notice that this particular model shows a pretty good risk of storms lining up on your Friday evening from parts of central Missouri, but quickly racing through. The speed that these storms do develop and race through will dictate some of the rain potential with these particular storms. And here we go with that secondary storm forming as we go into the day on Saturday down here. And I think Saturday will also bring a threat. So we looked at day 1 threat. That's tonight on your Wednesday. Day 2 threat, that minimal threat that moved out towards Montgomery, Alabama, that would be your Thursday threat. And then as we head into Friday, that's this system working its way through, fast moving, fast acting. Now let's take a look at this. I think Saturday may be a better risk of severe weather in those places. We're talking Louisiana. We're talking you folks in Pine Bluff and Little Rock, all the way into the Boot Hill of Missouri. This second wave of storms is the one that I think will have the risk of really bringing all threats indeed. Again, that continues Saturday night into Sunday morning for those of you in Appalachia. So that is a look at our severe weather threat. Make sure you're paying attention to your local National Weather Service offices for watches and warnings, and keep fluid plans and stay informed if you're in the south. If you're in the north, be ready for Friday night and Saturday ice and snow potential across the Dakotas and Minnesota and the Rocky Mountain West and parts of the mountainous regions of California. Expect heavy rain, expect snow, and expect, well, some travel troubles as this windy Colorado low develops. If you liked what you saw here, my name is meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I would love to have you visit my YouTube channel right here. Click on it, and if you liked what you saw here, you can see more videos. I am a meteorologist who has been working on the air for the better part of 30 years. For about 20 years, teaching meteorology to college students here in the upper Midwest. So I love weather. I love talking about it. If you have a question, drop a comment down below. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night, and we will keep you updated on changes right here. You're watching Hutch's Weather, hutchesweather.com. Anytime, anywhere, interactive radar. You can upload your photos and reports of weather right there. Follow me on Facebook, and please slam the subscribe button right here on YouTube. But don't forget to hit the little dingleberry at the bottom. That dingle bell gives you notifications when Hutch is going live.